Imagine for a second that you have vision so sharp you can spot a target, say, 3 kilometers away. Or imagine having the strength to carry almost 8 times your own body weight while you're flying.
It sounds like a superhero origin story, doesn't it?
It really does, but those are just the standard specs for, well, for an eagle.
From eagle, nature's ultimate predator.
And that bird is the central metaphor for the book we're covering today. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Today we're unpacking Wings of Purpose, an epic journey of leadership, courage, and friendship by Dr. Clare Allen.
And we should probably clarify the genre right up front.
Oh yeah, because this catches people off guard. This is not your typical business case study. We're not looking at P&L statements or SWOT analyses today.
No, this is a fable.
It's an allegory.
Exactly. The characters are eagles and horses, even a dog. It reminds me a little bit of Animal Farm or maybe Patrick Lencioni's work.
5 dysfunctions of a team, yeah. But this one has, I think, a much deeper focus on the spiritual and psychological side of leadership. It has a real narrative arc that just pulls you in.
And that's a format that really works because humans, we're just wired for stories. We remember stories so much better than we remember bullet points.
Oh, for sure. So I think our mission for this deep dive is to trace that narrative arc, that story, and pull out, 3 or 4 big insights.
Right. On courage, on teamwork, and also on getting out of your comfort zone.
And that often ignored role of, intuition in making big decisions.
Okay, so let's start with the premise itself. Why eagles? I mean, besides the cool stats we just mentioned, what is the eagle mindset the book talks about?
It really comes down to how they handle turbulence. So most birds, when a storm hits, they'll fly for cover.
They hide in the branches, wait it out.
Exactly. An eagle does the opposite. It flies into the storm.
Which sounds completely suicidal.
It sounds crazy, right? But the eagle knows that the storm front creates these powerful updrafts. So by facing the wind, the eagle actually uses the storm's own energy to lift itself higher.
So it soars above the clouds where the air is calm.
Yes.
That is a potent metaphor for resilience. You don't just endure a crisis, you use it as leverage.
You use it to elevate your perspective.
Yeah.
Exactly. The book calls it strategic elevation. And this is paired with the idea of vision, that long-range sight.
They're not just looking at the fire right in front of them, they're looking at the horizon, playing the long game.
Right. And there's also this little bit of Welsh folklore mentioned early on that really sets the tone.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
The saying is that if you see an eagle on a rock alone, it warns of an enemy.
But if you see 2 eagles together, it means peace.
So right from the jump, the book establishes that leadership isn't a solo sport, despite that lonely at the top cliche.
Okay, so before we get to the team stuff, we have to talk about the character who I think represents, well, maybe all of us. Or at least that part of us that has self-doubt. Let's talk about Fearful.
Fearful is fascinating because physically, he's a tank. The book describes him as this large, magnificent bird.
But his posture is all wrong.
All wrong. He pulls his wings in tight. He hunches over. He tries to take up the smallest amount of space possible.
I think we've all been in a meeting room where we've done that, just trying not to be seen.
100%. And for Fearful, this all stems from this limiting belief his father gave him. He has this internal tape loop playing his father's voice.
Just telling him he's a hopeless hunter, that he's clumsy.
But he'll never amount to anything. Precisely. He is trapped in this classic imposter syndrome.
So his journey starts when he goes to Moment.
Right. Moment is this high-ranking spiritual eagle, a real mentor figure. And Fearful asks her to go with him to a place called Mount Past.
A little on the nose, that name.
A little, yeah. But it works. They have to fly backward to the source of the pain. But the breakthrough, it doesn't happen on the mountain. It happens at the Lonely Planet watering hole.
Oh, the atmosphere in the scene is great. It's dark, the water is shimmering, and they meet Fionnuala.
The Witch of the Eagles. She's this archetypal wise woman figure. And she has a dog with her.
Named Karma. I actually laughed out loud when I read that. The dog's name is Karma.
Because karma follows you around.
Yeah.
Or karma bites you if you aren't careful.
Right.
But Fionnuala is the one who facilitates this critical shift. She challenges Fearful to look into the water, and usually when he sees his reflection, he just sees his father's criticism.
He sees an ugly, incapable bird.
Fionnuala basically forces him to wipe the lens, She says the ugliness was just a perception, a story he was telling himself.
And when he finally looks with clear eyes,
he sees a strong, capable eagle. And this is the key takeaway, I think. Leadership capacity is capped by your own self-perception. Who you are is who you think you are.
You can't lead others if you're subconsciously shrinking yourself down.
Not effectively, no.
Yeah.
And the transformation is immediate. The dog, Karma, actually whines like it's giving him permission, and he takes a new name.
Fearless.
Fearless. It's a bit of a fake it till you make it moment, but names have power. By calling himself Fearless, he starts to act like it.
And once he unlocks that confidence, the whole book kind of expands. It stops being about individual therapy and starts being about the team.
Friendship and organizational dynamics, yeah.
Yeah.
This is where the ensemble cast comes in, and honestly, this group is a mess.
A total island of misfit toys
It
situation.
really is. You have Moment and Fearless, and then they pick up Intellect.
Intellect is great. She literally wears glasses.
He wears glasses. Incredibly book smart, but on the ground, she's a disaster, tripping over her own feet.
A great reminder that a high IQ doesn't mean high capability in every situation.
Not at all. Then you have Tall Poppy. Now, for our international listeners, we should probably explain Tall Poppy syndrome.
Good point. It's that cultural tendency, especially in places like Australia or the UK, to criticize or cut down people who excel or stand out too much.
Exactly. So Tall Poppy is this refined, confident, high-achieving bird who's probably been targeted by jealous peers his whole life. He's a bit aloof.
And to balance him out, you have Baby.
Baby is pure chaos. An orphan, loud, falls over constantly, mimics everybody.
But she's the emotional glue.
She is. And finally, there's Bad Boy, this troubled youth that Fearless takes under his wing.
Which shows that cycle of mentorship. Moment mentored Fearless, and now Fearless is mentoring Bad Boy.
So you have this completely dysfunctional team. The nerd, the aristocrat, the chaotic kid, the tough guy.
In a normal business book, you'd fire half of them.
Right. But the book uses the earthquake at Eagle Bay to show exactly why you need that kind of diversity.
This is the crisis management chapter.
Yeah. A tremor hits, rocks split open, and Intellect, along with another friend, Kite, they fall into this deep crevice. They're trapped.
And this is where the hierarchy just flips. Normally, you'd look to the biggest, strongest bird to save the day. But Fearless is too big to fit in the hole.
And Moment is maybe too valuable to risk, or just not equipped for this specific problem.
So who steps up? It's Tall Poppy, the one who usually doesn't want to get his feathers dirty.
Crisis forces innovation. He realizes they can't fly them out. He has to engineer a solution.
Yeah.
So he starts braiding seaweed to make a rope.
It's practical, creative, problem-solving under pressure.
But he can't go down the rope.
No. This is the critical moment. The only one who fits, and the only one with the reckless courage to actually do it, is Baby.
The smallest, most inexperienced member of the team becomes the hero. She climbs down that seaweed rope into the dark.
It's a huge inversion of the whole great man theory of leadership.
Absolutely. We often think the leader, with a capital L, has to be the one to save the day.
Yeah.
But this shows leadership is situational.
In this specific context, Baby is the leader.
It's about valuing everyone's strengths equally. Intellect's brain, Tall Poppy's engineering, Baby's bravery. If they were all fearless types, Intellect would have died in that hole.
So they survived the earthquake. They've bonded through trauma. But the story doesn't let them rest.
No, it moves into the next phase, which really challenges our Western ideas of logical decision-making. This brings us to the theme of intuition.
The quest for healing.
Exactly. Their friend Brightstar has a mangled claw from the tremors. And medical logic would say, well, it's broken, you have to deal with it. But the group has a collective intuition.
A shared dream.
A shared dream, yeah. About a cave of potions that can heal her.
Now, if I walked into a board meeting and said, I had a dream we should pivot our strategy, I'd be laughed out of the room.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the author, Dr. Allen, she's arguing that intuition, that internal radar, is a valid data point. The map they have is vague. The journey is dangerous. Logic says stay home.
Stay safe in your comfort zone.
But intuition says go.
And they choose to go. This is a huge step. They aren't just flying for fun anymore. They're flying into the unknown.
And that willingness to leave the nest, to leave the known world, is what defines their growth. But this leads them straight into the territory of the antagonist.
We have to talk about Regal Eagle.
Great villain name.
It is. He rules the land of hope, which sounds nice.
But it's a trap, a classic authoritarian trap. He represents the shadow side of leadership. It's all about ego. He demands they bow to him.
He literally drops a giant cage on them.
Subtle symbolism there.
Very. He represents leadership that confines, not liberates. But he offers this transactional bargain. He has the potion for Bright Star, but the cost is a life.
And not just any life. He wants Moment.
The spiritual leader. He sees her as a threat to his dominance. He says she's the only one worthy of the trade.
And Moment steps forward. She is willing to die so her friend can walk again. I mean, this is the ultimate definition of servant leadership, isn't it?
It is. It's love in action, the willingness to pay the ultimate price for the team. But before he can execute her, the cavalry arrives.
Wisdom shows up.
Wisdom is the grand matriarch, Moment's own mentor. She arrives with a squadron of 10 other eagles.
And it turns into this full-scale aerial battle. And this is where the fable gets heavy. You expect the good guys to win, and everyone goes home happy.
Well, the good guys do win. Regal Eagle is defeated and banished, but there's a cost.
A huge cost. Wisdom falls from the sky. She takes the hit that was meant for a moment. She dies in the fight.
It's heartbreaking, but it underscores this hard reality of leadership, legacy and sacrifice.
Her final act of leadership was ensuring the survival of the next generation. She cleared the path for a moment.
And they do get the potion, they find the yellow bottle labeled Bright Star, and she's healed. Mission accomplished.
But the vibe is completely changed. Moment is just devastated. She's grieving. And this leads us to the final and maybe the most complex part of the book.
The burden of destiny and purpose.
Right, because with Regal Eagle gone and Wisdom dead, there's this power vacuum in the land of hope.
And Spirit, another character, this very meditative eagle, reveals the truth to Moment.
He tells her Wisdom's death wasn't an accident, it was destiny. She intended for Moment to take over.
And Moment's reaction is so relatable. She doesn't say, "Great, when do I start?" She says, "No thanks."
She resists it. She looks at her friends, intellect, baby, fearless, and she just wants to go back to that. She wants the comfort of the group, not the loneliness of command.
It's the reluctant leader archetype. She wants to stay in the zone of friendship, not the zone of responsibility.
To resolve this, she enters a trance with Fionnuala, the witch's back, and finds herself in this mystical library. She pulls a book off the shelf.
Titled Moment's Two Paths.
And it outlines her choice. Path 1 is comfort, safety, staying with her friends. But it's also stagnation. Path 2 is the divinity of leadership. It's hard, it's lonely.
But it's why she exists. It's her purpose.
And she realizes she can't deny her nature. She realizes that purpose isn't something you just choose off a menu. It's something that chooses you.
And saying yes to that purpose often means saying no to things you love, like comfort and constant companionship.
So she has to say goodbye.
Yeah.
She leaves the family she chose to walk this lonely path because it serves the greater good. It's a really poignant ending.
It's a tough pill to swallow. We like the LinkedIn version of leadership where everyone's smiling and high-fiving. We don't often talk about the isolation.
But that's where the growth happens. As the book suggests, out of that grief and solitude, the phoenix rises from the ashes. The new leader is forged in that fire.
So if we pull back and look at the whole book, Dr. Allen provides a summary of insights at the end. How would you distill those for our listener?
I'd boil down to 4 core principles. First is the cycle of mentorship. No one succeeds alone. Moment had wisdom. Fearless had Moment. Bad boy had Fearless. You have to be both a student and a teacher.
Okay. Second.
Embrace the fear. Fearful didn't get rid of his fear. He walked through it. The goal isn't to be fearless in the sense of having no emotion. It's acting despite the emotion.
Third is intuition.
Trust the radar. Data is great, logic is essential, but when you're navigating uncharted territory, like that cave of potions, sometimes your gut is the only map you have.
And finally,
Love and sacrifice. It sounds soft, but it's the hardest part. Moment was ready to die for Bright Star. Wisdom did die for Moment. High-performing teams are bound by a deep commitment to each other's success.
it's a rich story. You've got exploding rocks, seaweed ropes, magic potions, and deep psychological growth. It certainly beats reading a spreadsheet.
It stays with you longer, too. It forces you to
Yeah.
ask yourself where you fit in that flock.
And I want to leave our listener with a challenge today, inspired by that scene at the Lonely Planet watering hole.
The mirror moment.
Exactly. If you, the listener, looked into the water of reflection right now, stripping away what your boss says, what your parents said, what your own doubts scream at you at 3 in the morning, what name would you give yourself today?
Are you resilient?
Are you creator? Or are you still holding on to fearful?
That's maybe the most important question you can answer this week.
Thanks for taking the plunge with us.
See you next time.